The voice you'll hear is AI, but the story itself, it's chilling, it's gripping, and it's going to keep you hooked till the very last second. I've lived in San Francisco most of my life, and I used to think I knew every inch of the city. But there's one place I'll never set foot in again, Stowe Lake. If you've never been there, it's this quiet lake tucked inside Golden Gate Park. Families go there to picnic, couples rent boats, joggers circle the paths every morning, but at night, it's different. At night, the lake feels wrong. There's this old legend everybody in the city whispers about the Lady of Stowe Lake. They say, over 100 years ago, a mother drowned her baby in the lake by accident, and in her desperation, she dove in after him and never came back. Now people claim her ghost still wanders, searching, asking anyone she sees, "Have you seen my baby?" And if you answer yes, she drags you into the water. I never believed that crap. My best friend Ryan did. He was obsessed with ghost stories, always looking for proof. So one night, after finals, he said, "Let's go to Stowe Lake at midnight. Let's see if it's real." I should have said no, but it was one of those moments where you don't want to look like a coward, so I agreed. We grabbed his camera, flashlight, and drove out there a little before midnight. The park was almost deserted. No cars, no people, just heavy fog rolling over the trees like smoke. The lamps along the path barely lit more than a few feet ahead. Every step we took on the gravel sounded too loud, echoing back like the place was amplifying it. Ryan kept grinning, whispering into his camera, "All right, guys, it's almost midnight. We're at Stowe Lake. If she's real, we're gonna find her." His voice shook a little, but he pretended it was excitement. Me? I was already on edge. The lake was so still it looked frozen, even though the air smelled like wet earth and algae. And the deeper we went along the path, the quieter everything got. No frogs, no birds, not even the sound of wind in the trees. Just silence and our footsteps. When Ryan stopped near the water's edge, I felt my stomach drop. He raised the flashlight, sweeping it across the lake, and then called out in a low voice, "Lady of Stowe Lake, where's your baby?" His words stretched across the water, echoing faintly. At first, nothing happened. He called again, louder this time. "Lady of Stowe Lake, where's your baby?" That's when I heard it. A faint splash like something small had just dropped into the water. I turned, scanning the dark surface, but it was perfectly still. Ryan's eyes lit up. "Did you hear that?" he whispered. Before I could answer, the fog across the lake seemed to shift. It thickened into one spot, curling like smoke, and out of it, a shape began to form. A woman, standing on the opposite bank, pale, drenched, her long hair hanging over her face. She didn't move. She just stood there, half hidden in the fog. My chest tightened. My instinct screamed at me to run. But Ryan whispered into his camera, almost trembling with excitement, "Oh my God, it's her. It's really her." And then she raised her hand and pointed straight at us. Ryan's hand was shaking as he kept the camera pointed at her. My whole body felt cold, and not from the fog. I whispered, "Ryan, let's go. Right now." But he ignored me. The woman didn't move. She just stood across the lake, her white gown clinging to her body, dripping as though she'd just stepped out of the water. Her arm stayed raised, finger pointing straight at us. Ryan whispered, "Lady of Stowe Lake, where's your baby?" The second those words left his mouth, the air changed. It felt heavier, like all the oxygen had been sucked out. And then, faint but clear, across the water, came the sound of a woman's voice. "Have you seen my baby?" My stomach dropped. The voice was hollow, broken, echoing like it came from under the water itself. Ryan froze, staring through his viewfinder. I whispered, "Don't answer. Ryan, don't say anything." But he was too caught up, trembling with adrenaline. "Yes," he shouted. "Yes, we see you." The second he said it, the woman tilted her head back and let out the most blood-curdling scream I've ever heard. It wasn't human. It was like a drowning person, gasping and shrieking all at once. The sound bounced across the lake, and suddenly the water wasn't calm anymore. Waves rippled violently, like something massive was moving beneath the surface. I grabbed Ryan's arm. "We're leaving. Now." We bolted back down the path, our footsteps pounding, but the fog was thicker now, almost like it was alive, curling around us, blinding us. I couldn't even see 10 feet ahead. The sound of rushing water followed us, like it was chasing us on land. Ryan was breathing hard, clutching the camera like it was proof he couldn't let go of. Then splash. Loud. Right behind us. We froze. Slowly, we turned. In the middle of the path, maybe 15 feet away, water pooled out of nowhere. Not from rain, not from the lake, it just seeped up through the dirt, spreading fast. And in the middle of it, 2 wet, pale feet appeared. The woman was standing there, on the path. Her hair hung over her face, dripping. Her head tilted, and in that same broken, watery voice, she whispered, "Give me back my baby." I couldn't move. My legs felt paralyzed. Ryan lifted his camera, whispering, "Oh my God, oh my God." The woman started walking toward us, but her steps didn't sound like footsteps. They sounded like splashes, like each one was dragging through deep water. And the smell rotting algae, lake water, and something sour, like old decay, hit us so strong I gagged. I finally broke out of my frozen state, grabbed Ryan and screamed, "Run!" We sprinted blindly into the fog, the sound of splashing footsteps right behind us. I could feel the wet, cold air closing in, hear that broken voice repeating over and over, "Have you seen my baby? Have you seen my baby?" We stumbled off the path, branches slapping against our faces as we tore through the trees. I didn't care where we ended up, as long as it was away from her. But then, I realized something terrifying. The footsteps weren't following both of us anymore. They were only behind Ryan. I stopped, turning back, but I couldn't see him through the fog. I could only hear him scream my name once, "Help me!" And then, silence. The forest went dead quiet. No footsteps, no water, no Ryan. Just me, standing in the suffocating fog, heart pounding out of my chest, realizing I was alone. I stood there in the fog, chest heaving, calling Ryan's name over and over. Nothing. Just silence pressing down on me, thick and suffocating. My flashlight flickered weakly, its beam cutting only a few feet ahead before vanishing into the mist. Then I heard it. A splash. Not from the trees, but from the lake back the way we came. Against every instinct I had, I followed the sound. My shoes slipped in the wet dirt as I pushed through the fog until the path opened up again, and I saw the water. At first, it was calm, smooth, empty. But then something broke the surface, Ryan's camera. It floated for a moment. Lens cracked before sinking out of sight. "Ryan!" I screamed, scanning the shoreline. That's when I saw movement in the water. Arms, pale, thin arms thrashing just below the surface. My heart nearly stopped. It was him. I dropped my flashlight and ran to the edge, ready to dive in. But as I leaned over, I froze. The arms weren't Ryan's. They were too long. The fingers webbed together, gray and swollen like they'd been underwater for years. And as they flailed, a face broke the surface. Not Ryan's. Hers. The Lady of Stow Lake. Her sunken eyes stared up at me, mouth gaping, water spilling out as she hissed, "Help me find my baby." I stumbled back, but she surged upward faster than anything human, dragging half her body out of the water. Her skin hung in strips, hair plastered over her face. Her nails scraped against the shore as she pulled herself toward me. I ran. I don't remember making the decision. I just turned and sprinted, tearing through the fog, lungs burning. Behind me, I could hear the slapping, wet sound of her chasing. The cries of, my baby," echoing like they came from everywhere at once. I don't know how long I ran, but somehow I broke through the fog and stumbled into the glow of a park ranger's truck headlights. The ranger jumped out, grabbing my shoulders, shouting, "What the hell's going on?" I tried to explain, but all that came out were broken gasps and sobs. He swept the area with his flashlight, called backup, and they searched for hours. They found nothing. No woman. No footprints. No, Ryan. Not even the camera. The police questioned me for weeks. They treated me like I'd killed him, dumped his body. But eventually, without evidence, without a trace, the case went cold. It's been years since that night. Ryan was never found. His family still thinks I know more than I'm telling. And maybe they're right, because sometimes, late at night, I'll wake up to the sound of water dripping in my room. And just before I fall back asleep, I hear it. A woman's voice, soft, broken, whispering from the darkness. "Have you seen my baby?"